Look at your phone. Look at that silent screen, that desperate craving for a notification, that pulse of anxiety in your chest telling you that you are falling behind. You think you are working? You think you are being loyal? The truth is, you are betraying yourself. In the ruthless world of Machiavelli, there is no room for comfort or pity. Discipline is not a habit. It is an act of violence against your own weakness. It is the cold-blooded ability to bury your emotions, your fatigue, and your excuses alive. We are here to perform an autopsy on your nice guy persona. We are going to kill the seeker of validation so that a sovereign can emerge. Niccolò Machiavelli famously wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, but few experience who you really are." The average man is a loudmouth. He broadcasts his intentions. He posts his workouts on social media before he has even broken a sweat. This is strategic suicide. He releases the pressure valve before the engine even starts. You must become a ghost. True power is forged in the dark. When you talk about your goals, you are begging the world for permission. Stop asking. The most dangerous man in any room is the one who watches, listens, and says absolutely nothing. Silence is your armor. It creates a vacuum that makes others uncomfortable. They begin to wonder what you are up to. They begin to fear you because you no longer depend on their attention. Imagine disappearing for 6 months. No announcements, no explanations, just the gym, the work, and the empire. When you finally re-emerge, you don't need to tell them you've changed. They will feel it in your posture. They will see it in your eyes. Explanation is the language of the victim. The sovereign does not justify. He executes. There is a common delusion that disciplined men are robots, that they don't feel pain, boredom, or exhaustion. That is a lie. The sovereign feels everything. He feels the sting of rejection and the crushing weight of the grind. The difference? He does not care. Machiavelli argued that a leader must not be ruled by emotion, but must use emotion as a tool. Do not try to love the discipline. You will hate waking up at 4 a.m. You will hate the repetition, and that is exactly how it should be. Passion is a flickering flame that dies in the wind. You need something colder. You need duty. This is emotional alchemy, taking the lead weight of "I don't want to" and transmuting it into the gold of "I did it anyway." When you stop negotiating with your feelings, you become untouchable. Think about it. If your enemy knows you only fight when you are motivated, all they have to do is wait until you are tired. But if you are the man who works harder when he is miserable, if you are the man who builds an empire while his heart is breaking, you become a force of nature. You treat your emotions like the weather. You acknowledge the storm, but you do not cancel the mission. You put on your coat and you walk. Your emotions are your subjects. If they riot, you crush them. Machiavelli knew that to maintain power, a ruler must often stand alone. Look at your social circle. Are they pushing you toward the throne, or are they drowning you in their own mediocrity? Most people are terrified of silence. They fill every moment with noise, podcasts, and digital garbage because they cannot sit in a room with their own thoughts. Their thoughts tell them the truth, that they are wasting their potential. To become terrifyingly disciplined, you must embrace isolation. You must be willing to walk away from people who do not serve the mission. This is not cruel, it is necessary. As you rise, people will try to pull you back, not because they hate you, but because your growth highlights their stagnation. You are a mirror they don't want to look into. Let them call you cold. Let them call you different. Fun is the distraction of the average. You are not here for fun. You are here for mastery. Isolation is the laboratory of the great. It is where you find out who you are without the noise of other people's opinions. Schedule your withdrawal. Lock the door. Face the demons of boredom and anxiety in the dark. When you win that fight alone, you walk into the light with a confidence that cannot be faked. Machiavelli advised that a prince should be both the lion and the fox, strong enough to frighten the wolves and cunning enough to recognize the traps. Most men are easy to kill because they are predictable. They operate on a schedule of impulses. If they are insulted, they get angry. If they are praised, they get soft. Their reactions are a roadmap that anyone can use to manipulate them. When you master discipline, you become a glitch in the matrix. You become unpredictable because you are no longer a slave to external stimuli. You stop reacting and start responding. Imagine someone tries to bait you into an argument. The old you would have barked back, leaking power. The disciplined you simply looks at them with unreadable, calm eyes and returns to the work. This lack of reaction is terrifying. It signals that you are operating on a frequency they cannot tune into. You must develop an aura of strategic mystery. Do not let people know how tired you are. Do not let them see your wounds. Machiavelli understood that when you hide your pain, you deprive your enemies of their greatest satisfaction. Your discipline is your greatest psychological weapon. It tells the world, I can control myself, therefore I can control you. While everyone else is falling apart during a crisis, you remain the eye of the storm. You are the only one still standing because you have spent years training your mind to ignore the noise. Be the glacier, silent, slow, but possessing. A kingdom without a constitution is a mob. A man without a code is a servant. Machiavelli's world was one of laws, and to rule your life, you must establish an absolute standard. Most people have goals, but goals are flexible. Goals are things you hope to reach. Standards are what you tolerate. If you tolerate a soft body, you will have one. If you tolerate a disorganized mind, you will live in chaos. You must draw a line in the sand and decide that there are things you will simply never do again. You will never sleep past your alarm. You will never prioritize entertainment over education. You will never beg for attention. These are not suggestions. They are the laws of your empire. Violation of these laws must carry a penalty. If you fail yourself, you must pay the price, whether it is more work, less comfort, or a brutal self-audit. You must be a fair king to yourself, but you must be a stern one. When you live by an absolute standard, you stop looking for external motivation. You don't need a vision board when you have a constitution. Your discipline becomes your identity. You do the hard work not because you feel like it, but because it is who you are. The man who obeys his own laws is free. The man who obeys his impulses is a slave. We arrive now at the final, most violent stage of Machiavellian discipline, the execution. To birth the sovereign, you must murder the boy. You must sit in the silence and identify every part of you that is lazy, every part of you that is desperate for approval, and every part of you that is afraid of the dark. And you must kill them. This is not a metaphor. This is psychological warfare. You must develop a profound disgust for your old, undisciplined self. Every time you feel the urge to quit, visualize that old version of you, the one who failed, the one who cried, the one who settled for less, and realize that he is trying to drag you back into the grave with him. You must take your future by the throat. When you finally reach that state of terrifying discipline, people will say you have changed. They will say they miss the old you. Smile. That is the highest compliment they can give you. It means the murder was successful. You are no longer a passenger. You are the architect. The abyss is looking back at you, waiting to see if you will blink. If you are ready to install the Machiavellian code into your soul, then prove it. Type, "I am the sovereign" in the comments if you have the courage to murder your old self today. Subscribe to @NoirMachiavelli if you want the truths they aren't allowed to tell you elsewhere. The throne is waiting, but remember, it only fits one.